What's up, everybody? It is Monday, February 23rd. I hope everyone had a great weekend. And I'm jumping right into it. I want to keep this video short, give you an update on the account, and then we'll go from there. So, biggest thing, and this is part of the reason why, you either have to, how you do your stop losses, and why sometimes instead of looking at the percentage here, look at the overall trade. So if you remember last week, let's take Wells Fargo for example. I was looking at puts, all these puts, then I switched to calls on this day, so on and so forth. Should have just stayed with the puts. Financials today got hit pretty hard. Another one, AXP. I bought to open it. I was getting, a little nervous. I mean, let's think about this. 495 minus 380, 115 bucks. 495. So I was down 23%. I was trying to, whittle the portfolio down. So I lost 20%. But then, where's AXP today? Monster move down. When I did my analysis, I forget which video it is. I said, it comes back up into here, and then, we want to see it, continue downward. Got exactly that. I, for whatever reason, I was losing confidence in the trade because, we had this week right here. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, this right here. I'm not thinking, but I got out of that. I had JP Morgan, another one, big drop today. So the reason I bring this up is when looking at your trade, and this is where I'm going to start shifting the portfolio to as far as the risk parameters, because right now the risk is, as we discussed, 35K account size, boom, boom, boom. Max position size is 700. And right now, roughly been doing stops at minus 50%. But what if, some of these trades, because I'm going to, I'm still experimenting, trying to find out what works best for me. What if on some of these trades, instead of just 50%, because these numbers fluctuate so much. And the trade could be perfectly valid, but because of how options contracts are, how the value is calculated, you could be negative, but price could be moving up a little bit, or the day could just be flat. You could be negative. The overall trade hasn't changed. I know if I was in shares, I'm not changing my position, but it's just something to consider because I know we all look at these. This is what we're keying off of. And a lot of people, they might say, oh, I have a 30% stop loss. For me, I feel like that's not enough room. But all I'd say, it's a lesson learned. Still refining some things on my end. But that's just, from there, we're just going to jump right into it. So, Apple, no change here. AMD, added on a put. AMD. Something going wrong with TradingView? Give me AMD. All right, fine. They put it right here. I don't know why it's down here. Okay, so overall, it went up into this weekly drop. We had the this is still valid on the weekly. We have this. We have a couple other gaps right here, but we went up into this gap fill, drops down. Use the inversion fair value gap, continues lower. Last week, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing invalidated a trade for puts on this. Nothing closed outside of this. There was no energetic move out of this to say we're going to go up here. Could just held through the puts. What happened today? Boom, had a little bit lower. We took this sell side right here. So for this trade, I'm not even going to worry about the 50% profit or drawdown, as this is we're experimenting. I want to see how things go. My trade idea is that we're going to come down here to 190.72. I'm going to either hold until we get within, like, if it's 190.72, if it's like 191.17, like 40 cents, I'm just going to take the trade off. It doesn't have to be exact, but if we're at 50% and we're right here, I'm going to hold and trust the trend. And I think this is going to be a growth opportunity for myself. So that's AMD. AU had a very good trade on this one. And this goes back to entries. So on AU, bought on February 20th, 10/22. So we can go right to where that is. So bought on this day right here. Let's go down to a 15-minute. February 20th, 10/22. So somewhere in this area. Now, the reason this is, why did I get into this trade? All right, so 1, post earnings. 2, had this gap right here, this gap right here, market structure shift, get above it. Price was up. But here's where the real magic happened for this trade and why I was able to capitalize so well. 10/22 is this 10/15 candle? Yeah. Got in on this down candle. Best thing about this, hey, if I get up here, I have to wait until it gets above here and then some. Got in on the pullback. I was down on the position because it wicked further down, but then rallies out of it. And coming into the day, boom, we take this. So close that position out for close to 100%. These are why I'm working to do more of these pullback entries and not breakout entries, because the breakout, I would have, waited until it was up here, and then I get in on this, and then I have to wait through a consolidation. I would much prefer the pullback. On to the next. Bank of America. This is just pure momentum. So I'll just group these together. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, pure momentum trades. Why? Banks got slapped today. These purely off of those momentum entries, trade below the low of the high day. So we kind of already did that because, trade below here, here, here. But we didn't have a close below any of these days, which, a lot of people wait on. I feel like that's still more breakout trading-esque. So this one I got into, hit this weekly, but I'm looking for it to go here. What would invalidate this trade? This is where I'm going to try something different. If it goes, let's say tomorrow we have just inside day, for example. Or, it pulls back a little bit, goes here. The trade is still valid. We are still downtrending. What will invalidate this trade for me is if we shoot above 53.24, we no longer need to be in this trade. Not only has it, especially if it closed above, not only has it closed above this gap that I'm utilizing as an entry, but now we're starting to push further up. There's no reason to take on the additional loss, for example. Um, so I would say right here. And I'm looking for a close above here. So if it's like in the day and it's sitting up here, boom, boom, boom. All right, I'll just leave it because especially if it gets up here, 53, 59, yeah, it's it's either gonna go into this one and then we'll turn over again, or it wants to push to the upside. So and then I'll just show Wells Fargo. Oh man, I got so many. All right. Yeah, Wells Fargo, same thing. We get above here, I'm done. But right now for Wells Fargo, based off this, what I would like to see, not that it has to happen or it's going to happen, maybe tomorrow, a little more continuation. If not, maybe, small pullback and then peaks into the gap that's formed. We continue over. Or ideal scenario, just keeps dropping. I'm not going to complain about that. Chevron, this is just a continuation play from last week. Came back. It's holding this. I probably would not get out of this. It would have to break. A strong move below here, I'll consider getting out of this trade. Google, for example. See, yeah. So Google, do I have calls or puts on Google? All right, yes. So Google is a call play. So Apple calls, AMD's puts, gold on Angle Gold. That's call. Bank of America puts, Chevron still in calls, Google calls. This right here, I mean, a nice reversal for the time being. Um, Reason being, we took the sell side. We get above this. Think we left this though. So this would be interesting to see when it comes back because these are relative equal lows. Means a lot of people probably have their stops down here for continuation on their plays. They see, the double bottom. I see, big banks, they want to take all those people out, take their money. For this one though, pulled back today, but interesting thing is what we're forming is a gap. So what this could do is this is weekly. All right, that's the weekly, which as you can see, kind of moving sideways right now. But here's what we get. Was this higher than this? 305, 38, 305.47? No. So no real market structure shift, but we could possibly see, since we swept the liquidity here, could see it come back, dip into this, and then push higher. Or it could rip right through. We don't know. But this gap here was able to get above that with energy last Friday. That's why I entered this trade. Honeywell has been my baby this year. Honeywell and Procter and Gamble made all-time highs, consolidating. Not much to say there. I'd say If I had to, if we just drop like just right through that, yeah, we can exit that trade. Intel. No reason, like slow, steady, but I'm looking for 42.28. And that will be, yeah, that will be, I'll trim off one of the contracts there. I'll set the stop loss. If not, if it goes against me, I'm looking at, if we close above this, it'll cause for some concern, but we'll have to see because this being on the up, this is your inversion fair value gap. So want to see price stay in the lower half. Do not want to see price up in here. Price staying in the lower half denotes bearishness and that this will continue. We hit here, see what it wants to do. Does it want to continue lower, take this sell side, or does it want to reverse from there? Coke. Coke, we're just riding the momentum. There's no reason to take this trade off. If I'm not mistaken, we're at all-time highs. So I'm looking based off of projecting this from low to high. As you see, we came back. Golden pocket right here came out of that. I'm looking for 82.91 on this. So let's go ahead, just put in our take profit on our calls right there. And that will be, I think that's just going to be a trim. Yeah, I'll probably trim half off right there. Meta. And I'll try to speed this up. So this is a 1 week, 1 day. Meta came all, we ran the buy side, drops down below. Yeah, this gap price then, what does it do? Boom to boom. Inversion gap stays in the lower half, turns over again. Now we're in this SIBI right here. It got to the upper half and closed there, but now looks like we're pushing down below it. I like that. Continuation, looking for some continuation out of this. I will probably not hold for here, but I'd more so be looking. Yeah, since this is a 15-point move, I'd probably be looking for something like right here. Low hanging fruit, easy target. And that's another thing. I'm going to start, we're just going to focus on low hanging fruit, especially since I only have one contract, I believe, of this. Yeah, one contract. Easy, low hanging fruit target. From here, 645 to here, 628, $17. I'm not going to be, upset with that. If it continues on, we'll just look to ride the trend down, see what we get. Which one is lower? See what we get here, and then ultimately here. But we're just gonna ride the trend. Microsoft got into this one a little late today because I'm working on not getting into trades in the first 30 minutes. It's a lot of volatility, price fluctuates a lot, and you may or may not have the pullback entry. This one I just fired off because I saw it took this weekly. It's coming up on the daily. For this one, I'm looking for it to hit this gap fill here. This is at 373. We can get that in a couple days if market conditions continue lower. And one thing I will say, I tend to buy monthly contracts, so I want all my trades have 20 to 50 days until expiration from a contract standpoint. NAM, this stock, I don't know why, just this position was up 40 something percent, and I was looking for it. Uh, Looking for it to continue higher, but NIM just moves funny. I don't know what it is about me and material stocks and some of these industrial stocks. We just have like that love-hate relationship, and this is something where I've learned there are some stocks I love to trade. I feel like they work perfectly, and then there are others don't really like how they move. NAM is becoming one of them. Uh, but did have got out for 13%. I'll right now like this ugly. I don't like that. Um, Oracle. This was another momentum entry. I mean, it just gave up honestly. And all I did for this one, I just looked at like, who are the biggest gainers, losers? I saw 6%. And I got tipped off to Oracle, getting beat up even more last week. From I was watching somebody else, and I mean, just looking at this, you see from like here. I mean, it's just gaps aplenty, but yeah, right there. Opened above it, closed. Nothing closed above this gap. And then what happened? Friday, down. Today, gap down and continuation. We're just going to take this. This one's short, sweet, and simple. We're just going to go, $4. We'll just take this. Is this a weekly? Let's take that one. Slap that right there. 135.25. Procter and Gamble, pure just continuation. This thing is a workhorse, let me tell you. So we got above this liquidity. Looking for this to continue on. I want us to, see how we get to 170. 170.99. And this is going to, like I was saying earlier in the video, this is going to be part of me not just not getting caught up in the profit and loss. Looking at the overall trade, because when we see like, oh, this is up $200, and yes, always take profit. You especially if you have if you're new, or if you just feel like it's too much, take your profit. But like I have this Procter and Gamble, which is from the previous position. I have this Vail contract from previous position. I'm just letting them run. I could secure, this 400, this $600, but I want to let them run. You have to. The hardest thing I'd say is letting your winners run and cutting your losers short. A lot of traders, you hear in the industry, they tend to do the flip. So that's that. Palantir. Palantir is puts. We're kind of in a space. It looks like, it's bouncing up. We took this weekly, but see it get down 126. Came up into this gap here, pushed down, and even the larger gap pushed down out of that. So I'll just leave that on. That's moving in the right direction. Let's expand these out. Well, Wells Fargo we already spoke about. Target, bit of a pullback today. Not too worried. As you know, the stock position is we're sitting fine. So no changes to that trade. We'll just hold it. It's only down 4%, so I'm not losing sleep over $25. Tesla. I was in calls on my Roth, but now looking at it, yeah, was wrong about that trade. We have relative equal lows right here. Let's see. Yeah, relative equal lows. Right there on the weekly. Come in. Was looking for this to hold. Looks like it does not want to. I was looking for, go up, come down. It tried, but, you know, it was, looks like it's failing. So now how I look at this is, we rated this buy side liquidity right here, drops back down all the way, comes up. Now, market structure shift. Yeah, trading view is weird. As you can see, yeah, I updated it, but it wants to show the X. Market structure shift lower. That leads me to believe, based on my analysis, we're going to head lower. Probably take this, our lowest low-hanging fruit right there. But we have relative equal lows, so I would probably get out of this trade. 87 to 82, $5 is nothing for Tesla, so I might just get out in between. For this trade to be invalidated, though, and I meant to say about a couple others. Boom, right there. Because that would then mean we swept sell side, and if we get an energetic move up here, yeah, market structure shift, look to go back to the upside. Taiwan Semiconductor. Honestly, there's really nothing to say about this one. It's just holding. Like we got down to halfway. No candle bodies have closed below consequent encroachment. So to me, that denotes bullishness. It's strong. Had I seen if it was down here and lollygagging and peaking down here, maybe not so much. But judging where the candles are, no issues here. Just gonna hold, looking for all-time highs. Now to look at some of the bad, right? We had Airbnb, Amazon, Coin, Meta. We were in calls, but flipped to puts. Nvidia, I just took the profit. We have earnings on Wednesday. Shop, and these are Wells Fargo calls. So start with Airbnb. Can't show the good without the bad. This market structure shift, it came back. I don't know when. Oh yeah, because I got in on this trade somewhere in here. But what do we see? This SIBI got in there, slapped it back down. That would have been a beautiful entry if I was still thinking it was going short. I was looking for the early trend reversal, but this is why, nothing about it's moving sideways. Ran this. It's been heading lower. That was just, yeah. Oh, see? And right there. Textbook. Right there. Market structure shift in here after we ran, took buy side here, all that. Market structure shift, boom. Honestly, I wouldn't even be looking, should not have been looking at this bullishly. But what I was thinking was that since we had swept these lows, it rallied up, it would come back. I mean, I guess this one's 50-50. And that's why, you just got to pick a side. But based off of this and how overall market is coming down. Amazon just showed I just don't like it right now. Maybe it fills this in on the weekly. I don't know. That's why I got out of it, because I'm just like, I don't know. Like, my calls are down 30%. We're down 30%. I don't know. AVGO, this one, if we're just being honest, like, it's just moving sideways. I don't want to waste time on this if it's just moving sideways. It's waiting for something, probably earnings coming up. We'll monitor it, but nothing there. Coinbase, much like financials, it's coming down, but it's not doing enough. Still feeling bearish on this one, but we'll watch. But exited that. And then lastly, Shopify just, yeah, I just got slapped on this one. Nothing to really say here. Yeah, there's no real gap or anything to go off. It's just this has been downtrending, and I was thinking calls, but honestly, this one kind of hard to read. It's because how it's moving, not very clear to me. So that's update overall on the day. You know, you mix the good with the bad. Um, Counts down $152. So see where this goes. But no, thanks you guys for watching, and look forward to talking with you all again soon. Hope you have a great day.